guys, my name's Irene. I'm going to be taking you through a short little yoga sequence today. So kind of focusing on a lot of stretching and a little bit of strength work. But to start off, let's find a comfortable seat. So either kneeling or cross-legged, whatever works best for you. And once you've found your spot, let's start to close the eyes down. So just following your natural rhythm of breath while you're here. Let's take a moment to ground the sit bones down into the mat, or the shins if you're kneeling. And then decide to find a bit of length up the spine. So starting to broaden through the collarbones and feel the shoulder blades draw a little bit closer together. Start to find some length through the neck. And then reaching up tall through the crown of the head. So now let's start to turn our focus to our breath. So take an inhalation in here together. And then exhale, let it go. So one more just like that, in through the nose. And out through the nose. Now just finding your natural rhythm of breath. So just following the inhalations as they come in through the nose, down the back of the throat, into the chest, and then eventually the belly. And then just following the breath on its way out. So just nothing more to do here, just focusing on the breath. So the reason why we start with the breath in yoga is because it's one of our first tools into the mind. So by focusing on the breath, helps you eliminate any other distractions going on and just brings more of a focus to being present. So nice and slowly, let's gently crack the eyes open, take a couple of blinks. And then let's take the right hand down to the mat, somewhere beside you. And on your next inhale, we'll reach the left arm up to the sky. And then just taking a gentle side reach. So reaching over towards the right. Maybe you start to turn up to look towards that left tricep. So you want to focus on spinning the left shoulder open here. And just getting a gentle opening through the left side body. So no need to crank or force it. Just want to feel something here. So take one more round of breath here. And then we'll place that left hand down beside us. We'll switch sides, so right hand reaches up and over the right ear. So again, maybe you turn the gaze to look up underneath that left tricep, if that feels good in the neck for you. And just settling in. So you want to sink that right sit bone down to the mat. And just slowly peeling open the right side body. Let's come back to center. This time we're going to take the left hand to the top of the right thigh. Take the right fingertips behind you. Let's inhale to take a breath in. And as you exhale, just take a gentle twist over towards the right side. So maybe looking over the right shoulder. Just releasing any tension in the spine, sitting up nice and tall. One more round of breath here. We'll slowly unravel, come back to center. So this time right hand to the left knee, left fingertips come behind you. Let's inhale to lengthen, grow tall, and then as you exhale, start to twist over, maybe looking over that left shoulder. So feeling into that gentle wringing out action going on in the spine right now. And then nice and slow, unravel. And we'll come over onto all fours. So let's take a minute to stack the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. So once you've found that space, you want to lengthen the front of the head towards the front of you and the tailbone towards the back. Let's inhale, we'll dip the belly down, start to look up. As you exhale, round rounding out through the spine, chin draws into the chest. Inhale, opening up through the front body. And then exhale, start to round out through the back body. Inhale to start to feel the shoulder blades draw in together. And exhale, feel them separate. So just moving through here in time with your own breath. And let's stop, we'll come back to center. So finding a neutral spine again. And this time we're gonna turn to look towards the left. So feel the left hip move towards the left shoulder, that crunching in the side body. Come back to center and we'll take it over to the other side. So looking towards the right hip gets closer to the right shoulder. Back to center and then just moving through a few rounds here. Just gently opening up the body. And then we'll come back to center. From here, we're going to bring the toes to the back of the mat, knees together this time, and then we'll drop the hips back to the heels. Start to reach the fingertips out in front of you. You can drop the forehead down to the mat. So this is called child's pose. It's a resting pose. And it's quite a good one when you've got the knees together to start to lengthen out through the spine. Just taking a couple of breaths here, just resting. I'm going to start to get a little bit more active here. So coming up onto the fingertips, feel the forearms draw away from the mat. And start to feel that opening into the armpits. Just taking a couple of breaths here. So plant the hands down into the mat. And we're going to glide the body forward to a half plank position. So again, you want the shoulders above the wrists. And you want fingertips spread out nice and wide here. So let's take a breath in together. And then as you exhale, bend through the elbows, lower the body all the way down to the mat. Let's inhale to lift the front body off for a cobra. So start to feel the back body fire up. Toes are pressed into the mat, legs are engaged. And then exhale, lower down. We'll push back up to half plank. And then we'll take the hips back to child's pose. Let's take a big breath in here. And then out. Let's inhale, glide the body forward, half plank. Exhale, lower through the elbows, dropping the body down to the mat. So press the toes into the mat, lift up through the knees, engage through the leg muscles. Then we'll inhale to lift up, cobra. Exhale down and make your way back to child's pose. Let's take a breath in and out. This time, come up onto the hands, tuck the toes under, and you're going to lift the hips up to down dog. So you want to basically create a nice V shape with the body here, really pushing the hands down into the mat. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. And gentle bend in the elbows. And then start to feel the shoulder blades melt down the back, looking in between the legs. Lift the hips up nice and high to the sky. And maybe taking a gentle bend in the knees to help lengthen out through the spine. And draw the heels down to the mat. From here, you might like to pedal it out a little bit. Getting a stretch up the backs of the legs. And then let's come to stillness. Start to look in between the hands and we'll walk the feet up to the front of the mat. So we're going to land in a forward fold here. You want the feet to be about hip width distance apart, so that's roughly 2 fists width. And then lengthen through the neck. Maybe take a couple of nods yes and shakes no. And just looking in between the legs, taking as much of bend in the knees as you need here. It might feel good to take hold of opposite elbows and take a gentle sway side to side. Just finding length all through the back body. Let's drop the hands down to the mat. We'll take an inhale, take the hands to the shins, lengthen through the spine. And then release that, exhale, fold forward. Let's inhale, start to reach the arms up to the sky, hands touch. And then as you exhale, fold forward, nice and slow, hinging from the hips. Inhale to a halfway lift again, hands to shins. And then exhale, fold forward. From here, we'll step the right leg back behind us for a runner's lunge. So nice and high on the fingertips, looking forward, broadening through the chest. And we'll drop that right knee down, untuck the toes. Inhale to sweep the arms up to the sky for a low lunge. So getting a gentle stretch up the front of the right thigh here. And you want that left foot stacked below the knee. So looking forward, finding some length through the side body. Nice and soft in the shoulders here, fingertips are bright. So one more round of breath. And your exhale, take the hands down to the mat. We'll sweep the hips back for a half splits. So you want to flex that left foot up towards the base. Looking forward, and that left leg doesn't have to be completely straight. There can be a little bend in the knee here. Let's take an inhale, look forward, find some length in the spine. And then with every exhale, see if you can get just a little bit deeper into that stretch. So just slowing the breath down a bit and feeling into the stretch. Come forward, plant that left foot down, plant the hands down, tuck the right toe under, lift the right knee off the mat. And we'll step the left foot back to meet the right, finding a high plank position this time. We'll drop down to the knees, untuck the toes, and then bending through the elbows, making your way all the way down to the mat. Inhale to lift up, cobra. Exhale to lower. Come back to half plank, tuck the toes under, and we'll find down dog. So again, maybe just pedaling out through the feet. Just getting a little bit more movement going on. And let's look forward in between the hands, step the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to find a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, fold, hinging from the hips. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale to fold forward. This time we're going to step the left foot back behind us, finding your runner's lunge, looking forward, broadening through the chest. Then we'll plant the hands down, and we'll drop the left knee to the mat, untuck the toes. Inhale to reach up, low lunge. Feeling and opening up the front of the left thigh here. Nice and relaxed through the shoulders, working through the arms. Spending a couple more moments here. And we'll drop the hands down to the mat, and we'll sweep the hips back for our half splits on this side. So flexing the right toes up to the face. Just find some length in the spine here. And then exhale, get a little deeper into the stretch. So this one can be quite a strong sensation up the back of the legs. Just taking it as far as you need to. Let's come forward, plant the right foot, plant the hands, tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee off the mat, and we'll step the right foot back to meet the left. High plank. Just taking a moment here in high plank. If it's too much, feel free to drop down to the knees for low plank. But if you're in high plank with me, spreading nice and wide through the fingers, a gentle bend in the elbows so they're not completely locked out, they're still a bit soft. And then puffing up through the upper back and creating one long line from the crown of the head down to the heels. Let's drop the knees down, untuck the toes. Exhale to lower all the way down. And inhale, lift up, cobra. And then let's find half plank again, tuck the toes, and come back to down dog. Let's take a breath in here together, and then out. Look forward, walk the feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, we'll take a halfway lift, hands to shins, lengthen. And then exhale, fold forward. This time we're going to do something a bit different. So let's take the right hand, place it in front of the right foot, and then start to take a bend in the right knee. And as you inhale, you'll reach the left arm up to the sky. So left leg's relatively straight here, right knee's bent. And maybe start to look up towards the left hand. So getting a deeper stretch into the left leg here. And also a little twist in the spine. So one more breath here. And your next exhale, we'll take the left hand down to the mat, place it in front of the left foot, start to bend into the left knee, and then inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky. Feeling a stretch down the back of the right leg, really reaching those right fingertips up, maybe looking up towards the right hand. One more breath here. As you exhale, we'll take the right hand down to the mat. We'll inhale to take a halfway lift again, hands to shins, lengthen. And then exhale, fold forward. This time we'll come all the way up to standing, reach the arms up. And as you exhale, start to bend through the knees, sitting down into chair pose. Let's take a look down towards the toes, make sure you can still see them. And we'll start to glide the hips down and back, sitting down a little deeper. And one more breath here. Start to feel the legs fire up. We'll take the hands through heart center and fold forward. Let's inhale to take a halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, fold forward. Step back to high plank this time. So we'll drop the knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. And then exhale, lower the body all the way down. Inhale, cobra, lift up through the chest. And then we'll find our down dog. So from down dog, we'll inhale to reach the right leg up to the sky for a three-legged dog. And then taking a bend in the right knee, drop the right heel towards the left butt cheek and start to open up through the right hip. Just one more breath here. And then from here, we'll straighten the right leg out again. We'll take the right knee into the chest, plant that foot down in between the hands. So nice and high on the ball of the left foot here, and firm in the right foot. We're going to find our balance. And inhale to reach up, finding a crescent lunge. So right knee stacked above the right foot. And take as much of a bend in that left knee as you might need here. And just here for one more breath. We'll take the hands down to the mat, framing the front foot. And we'll step the right foot back to meet the left. High plank. From here, feel free to drop down to the knees, otherwise staying up high. We'll exhale to lower the body down halfway. And then inhale to find a back bend. If you take up dog this time, if you're in up dog though, thighs are lifted off the mat. And then exhale, push back, down dog. Let's take an inhale here together. And exhale. Inhale, reach that left leg up to the sky, three-legged dog, so flexing on the toes. And then let's start to open up through the left hip, dropping the left foot towards the right butt cheek. Opening up through the left hip. Let's straighten the left leg, draw the knee into the nose, and then ground that foot down in between the hands. Let's come up high onto the fingertips. So nice and firm in the left foot, high up on the ball of the right. As you inhale, we'll start to find a crescent lunge shape. So nice and long through the torso here. The shoulders are relaxed and fingers are sparking up. And then let's take the hands down to the mat, frame the front foot. We'll step the left foot back to meet the right, high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, back bend. And then exhale, come back to down dog. We'll take a breath in here together. And then let it out through the nose. Let's drop the knees down to the mat. And swivel around on your hips. Let's bring the legs out nice and long in front of us. So start to flex the feet back towards the face. Lengthen through the spine. We'll inhale to reach the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, start to fold forward, just grabbing hold of wherever you can on the legs. So you want to keep a nice long spine here, no kind of rounding going on. So you want to draw the chest towards the thighs and the face towards the feet. So with every inhale you take, see if you can find a little bit more length in the spine. And with every exhale, maybe you get just a little bit deeper into that stretch. Last few rounds of breath here. And then slowly start to release wherever you're holding on to. Come up to a straight spine. So I'm going to turn to face you guys for this one. This is a really good pose to get into the sides of the hips and the outer thighs. So it's called cow face pose. So to get into it, we'll take our left knee right out in front of us. And then, right knee in front of us. And then we'll grab the left leg, place the left knee on top of the right. So they might not stack exactly, but that's completely fine. And then maybe just having a bit of a play with the hips here, just trying to find a space that's comfortable for you. So grabbing hold of the feet, and we'll inhale to find some length through the spine. So you should be feeling this right now. And if you want to take it a little bit further, you might start to fold forward. So just hinging the body forward. And maybe take the hands out in front of you. And just resting here, just breathing into it and feeling into that stretch. It's quite a strong sensation. So last couple of breaths here. And then nice and slowly start to make your way back up to a seated position. Unravel the legs and we're going to switch sides. So the left knee will come down first. So you want it facing forward. And we'll grab that right knee, place it on top. So again, just take a moment to find a space that's comfortable for you. So a little trick with this one as well is feet closer in towards the body makes it just that little bit easier. But if you're looking for a bit more, you might start to take the feet out just a little bit. Just grab hold of the feet. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. And as you exhale, fold forward, just coming as far down as you need today. Just starting to slow the breath down at this point. And just enjoying the stretch. The last round of breath here. We'll slowly start to make our way up to a seated position. So from here, let's take the feet down to the mat, reach the hands out in front. And then nice and slowly start to lower the body all the way down, using the core a bit here. And then once you land there, draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. You might like to take some gentle rocks side to side, just massaging out through the back. And then we'll take the hands behind the knees, start to rock and roll along the length of the spine here. It's getting a really good massage. And then you're going to come up to find boat pose. So you want to balance on the sit bones here. Legs are parallel to the ground. You want to draw the knees into the chest and open up through the chest, so no rounding in the back. And then if you're feeling okay here, if you're feeling comfortable and good, you might start to take one hand away, maybe the other. It's a slightly more advanced version. My legs are shaking, I'm definitely feeling this. It's a really good core exercise. We're just here for one more breath. And then we'll take the hands behind the knees again if they're not there already. And then just starting to lower the body down, lower the feet down to the mat. So we're going to move into some glute bridges just before we end. So taking the feet nice and flat down to the mat. You want the knees above the ankles. We'll take the hands just beside the hips. So gently start to push down into the mat with the hands. You feel a little engagement going on. And start to push into the feet. Nice and slowly lift the hips away from the ground. And you want to reach the chest up to the sky. So starting to feel a little bit of toning work going on in the thighs and the glutes here. If you want a little bit more, you might start to shuffle the shoulders underneath the body and interlace the hands underneath. So it just brings the chest up a little bit higher, gives you a greater opening through the front body. So just looking up to the sky. One more breath here. You've got the hands clasped underneath you. Slowly start to release. Take the shoulders back down to the mat and we'll lower down nice and slow. So bring the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug here. And then from here we'll start to lengthen the legs out. Take them a little bit wider than the hips. And take the shoulders slightly away from the body. We'll start to close the eyes down, coming to our final pose, Shavasana. So this is your brief moment to relax, listening to all those little messages from the flow we just did, and tune into how the body's feeling. And start to slow the breath down. And just doing a little scan through the body, making sure you're not holding on to any tension anywhere. So common areas are the hips, shoulders, the jaw. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. And in between the eyebrows. So no frowning. Just breathing, just enjoying this brief moment. And let's start to take some deeper inhales here. So breathing new air into the body, new life. And slowly waking the body up. We'll start to take some gentle movements through the fingertips and the toes. Maybe some circles with the wrists and the ankles. We'll take a big inhale here, reach the arms back behind you, start to point through the toes. And as you exhale, roll over onto your favourite side. And just take a moment to rest the head in the arm. Again, just taking some really big breaths in here. And when it feels right for you, use your top arm to start to push your way back up to a comfortable seat. Coming up with the eyes closed or the gaze lowered. So just taking a moment to find some length in the spine again here. Just enjoying this moment of stillness. And we'll take our hands to our heart center. We bow our heads, we raise our thumbs to our third eye, and we say the Hindi word to each other, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll catch you soon. Thank you.